Well, let me know when you're on, because I have something very important to say.
All right.
Yeah?
We're on.
That was a forced laugh.
Yeah.
I always think that if I start out a certain way that's natural...
I understand.
But it doesn't work. It's never worked.
It's fake it till you make it, but the curve is just too fast.
Do you have to have a trope? Is that a trope? The fake it till you make it?
It's an aphorism, I think.
Okay, what's the difference between aphorism and a trope?
I don't know.
We don't know.
All right, let's not start.
Didn't we get corrected by the? We had quite a week in mail, but did we get corrected for something?
We're always corrected.
We're always corrected, but one was
someone did today had a good tip, which was that Childish Gambino, the name origin was from a Wu-Tang Clan name generator online, which is great.
Well, my problem today was that I like to. I know I'm going to see you.
Yeah.
I don't really care about other people. I'm obviously tremendously self-involved.
I'm sorry, what you're saying?
I said I'm tremendously self-involved. I don't care about people really, but I care about them only to the extent
that they care about you.
No.
Okay.
No. Yeah. No. To what I perceive is their perception of me.
Right.
That's all I work for. So I know I was going to see you tonight. I said I got to do. I have to answer some emails, which I didn't do, and I have to do a separate tweet for Test Show 53.
Yes.
53. Neither one of those were accomplished.
That's okay. There's a whole week ahead to promote Test Show 53.
I know, and I'm starting to get into the. Can I say the swing of things without upsetting you?
Nope, I'm upset. It's weird.
Now, I was thinking we probably. I wanted to talk about that email thing, but maybe we shouldn't. We shouldn't bring up a specific person's thing because they'll know immediately.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, but the example I used of Ralph Cramden,
yeah,
where he wants to make the record. Did you ever see that episode?
No.
Okay,
or I might have, but didn't
he sets a clock. Okay. He sets a clock, and he says, "Your mother is going to say something to me, Alice, within 1 minute. 1 minute of coming into this house, she will say something to me." So she comes in and she's like, "Oh, hi, Ralph. Oh, well, how are you? Oh, I don't know why you didn't find someone who had made a better living, Alice." And then he goes, boop, shuts it off. That's it. Out. He throws her out because within 1 minute she insults him for his work.
Yeah.
So then he gets kicked out of the house somehow. He has to make an apology thing to his record. It's a record. They were making a record.
Okay.
To his wife, Alice. So he starts to, he goes, "Oh, it's old Buttercup." He says, "Hi, Alice. It's old Buttercup. I know your mom can't help it. I know that she doesn't mean to do it, but she can't help it because it's in her nature, because she's a blabbermouth. A blabbermouth." No, Ralph. That's my Norton.
No, I got it.
Ralph.
The context told me.
Take it again. So he takes it again. Oh, schmoopy. But what do you think happens?
He boils over once again.
No, they put the wrong record in the sleeve.
Oh, okay. So take number one.
Take number one, which he thought he threw away, because Norton's doing one of those things where he's, you know how he tosses stuff around like with the flair?
He didn't have a lot of mindfulness.
No. Now, do you think that's what I did right there is as good as watching The Honeymooners?
It was, actually. As far as I'm concerned, the immediacy, the proximity, it all came together to form theater, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I'm also very proud of myself because I now am accepting that if I'm going to try something, at least put my back into it.
Right. No, fully committed all the way through.
Because if I don't fully commit to a story, it's really terrible, I've found.
Not only were you committed to the performance, you remembered what you were performing about.
This is unbelievable. This is a whole new thing. And you just said I was remembering one of those. Why is it when you say the exact thing the person said to you to prove that you're listening, that it always means, doesn't sound like you're listening?
No, exactly. It sounds like you're just dictating.
Yeah, you just said you're just dictating. Yeah, but that wasn't a question. This is a great start. This is off to a great start.
If we could
jinx it.
We could do some 50s TV show reenactment at the beginning of every show, I think we might get an extra listener.
You know, people really would like us. They're hungering for more. If we would even spend 3 minutes writing, if we would come up with some more Mr. Weinstein sketches, they're hunger for it, and we never deliver. Mr. Weinstein, come in here, please. Please come in here.
All right, I'm back, Mr. Kindler, but I'm feeling a little bit of fool, I must say.
Oh, don't worry today. I would never call you into my office with a poor accent choice. Or without anything to ask you, Mr. Weinstein, how was your weekend?
Oh, my weekend was...
I can't stand it. I can't stand it.
Any time away from you, sir, is a delight.
Oh, you josh me.
I do indeed. Phew.
I actually said, you josh me.
Yes, you did.
Without knowing I was saying it.
Yeah.
Now, how many times in your life has your brother or anybody made fun of you by going, oh, you're joshing me?
My brother never, I don't know if my brother ever did. Because, he was
Busy.
better. He was better than that.
Oh, I thought
even though if he was though he was abusing me, he was still
hack.
better than that. He wasn't a hack, exactly.
Right. Nobody in your family was a hack.
But
I just realized.
But it was either that you're joshing me, or Oshkosh Bajosh.
But why didn't you name your first CD?
Or someone would go, "Gosh, Josh," and they do it a bunch.
Oh my God, that would.
But it wasn't. It was a pretty safe name, honestly, in terms of bad rhymes.
Why didn't you use it for your first CD, which would have been "I'm joshing you"?
My first CD is still in the future. I still can.
Wait. This I didn't know. I thought I've never
put out a stand-up CD.
You've mocked me for how little I've put out.
No. I mocked you for recording one and never putting it out. That's a little different.
Coming out till 65 degrees.
It would be a little presumptuous of me to put out a stand-up CD, is my point. Because no one would buy it online, and I don't travel to gigs.
I don't agree with you. Let me tell you something. If you came out with a CD, which I think, now that we're talking about it, and now we're having an actual spitball session, you should do an album.
You think?
Because people will love it, and then they'll buy the tracks, and you'll make money. I make money that you're not making from these companies just for my bon mots. And I'm not doing any, I don't do any additional work.
I do know that.
It's not like I'm calling the radio stations. Hey, are you still, I Wish I Was Bitter is still available for download. But I'm telling you, it's a thing. It's a thing. And I think it would be, but you know what? Why am I creating your next dream?
I don't know. I don't feel like there's a market, is my point.
No, you don't do it because there's a market. You do it because it'd be fun to do it. And you have it out there. And then people who do love you, hey, you know what? Let the Josh Elvis Weinstein fan decide how much they want to invest in you, because I don't see it happening with these hats. Do we have hats yet?
We don't have hats.
Oh.
Yeah. That's probably why it's not happening. Well, on a similar note, my big good news of the week.
You have good news?
Is I Need You to Kill is now streaming on Amazon Prime.
Oh my God!
For free if you have Amazon Prime.
I don't know what you mean. What does this mean?
I mean,
if you have to pay for it
it's
normally?
Netflix, if you have Amazon Prime, you know how Amazon has video?
Yes.
TV shows and the like.
I do know that.
Now my movie is one of those.
So I thought that would be
before you had to pay for it.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, but you always were on Netflix, right?
No, I'm still not on Netflix.
Okay, well, what did you come up with in my
cable system? Why do you have to
system?
confuse every piece of promotional?
Now, what is this again? Is this the one where you hire a hitman?
No, but I'm very excited. It's already, I can tell just in like the week or so it's been up, that it feels like it actually finally got a fucking release now, because like people are actually watching it. Because it was always, first of all, if you paid for it, thank you very much, because that's the reason it got picked up to Amazon Prime, is because it got enough action.
You see, that's the thing where you go one extra statement too far.
Why?
They feel ripped off.
I'm trying to appease them. I'm trying to thank
you for laying down like an ant.
You are just no fun.
I saw Chad Daniels up at...
Oh, sorry, just off-gassing a little bit before we move on.
I think in Austin.
Yeah.
And it was great seeing him.
He's both hilarious and a good dude.
He's a very good dude.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'd ever...
He's shooting a special in Denver.
Oh, see? Was I right about shooting specials? What?
Huh?
But I'll tell you though, people are going to watch this because it's a fascinating documentary, and I'm not just saying it because you begged me. You call me every Monday morning and you go, look, I'm not just doing this to watch the paint dry. Why would you do that? That'd be the worst show.
I don't know why I'd do that.
Yeah. You come on and promote, but I'm not promoting it. I'm just saying it's a great documentary. And I also feel I want to be the spokesperson.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, for the documentary channel.
Do you? Yeah. No, you shouldn't be.
Not so good.
You shouldn't be the spokesman for anything.
Cut me off. It's better.
Yeah. No, I'm excited because it is. I kind of thought it was already sort of relegated to the video scrap heap of history.
You were already making a nice dollar on it, I'm sure.
I still have not made $1 on it, but more importantly, I just, now it feels like people are watching it because I'm getting just the vastly increased feedback I'm getting about it.
There's so much. I'm going to be one of these people who says, if you have like they say, it's all about product, and then as if that says anything. You know what I mean? It doesn't say anything. Like if you talk to someone on the business side of any business, you got to have good product. You're not saying anything there when you say that.
No, I don't. It's never been said to me though.
Yeah, you got to have high quality. I'm talking about your CFOs and things like that.
Right.
Do you hate that commercial as much as I do, where the woman goes, "I'm not a C anything O."
Yes, I do hate that.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it more than I hate. What else will I hate more than that?
There's a financial planning one where it goes, good news, that goal you've been trying to achieve, I think we can get there. It opens.
Oh my God. No, those are terrible. With the guy with the beard?
The Ameritrade, the beard guy in the green room, he's
I'm sure he's a nice person, but
no, I don't think he is. I don't think he is.
I don't want. And it's the most useless, most worthless piece of garbage advice that he's given.
You are not a therapist or a broker.
Yeah.
Move away.
So I'll give you the exact one. So I was playing golf with my friend this weekend.
Oh, I love golf.
That's exactly what he says. Yes, and she starts to, I'm going to take a swing. She starts to give me tips about my swing as I'm about to swing.
Oh, that's not good. Or something like that.
Yeah, that's not what you needed.
Right, that's right.
And then what are you going to ask me, though? The funny, this comes the big punchline.
So are you going to go back and play golf more?
I don't think I know you well enough where we should be talking about delicate. So what is it? Is it a substitute for sex? I don't know you well enough. Why don't you go one way or the other? Why don't you have overt sex in that commercial, or you go the whole other way and go funny? Incoming. Meatball surgery. You're claiming they won't hear that. I'm claiming someone will go, nobody.
I think you can hear it.
Okay.
But, I'm just saying do better than incoming, or is it one of ours?
Some guy got in trouble, and I don't know if it's one of those. Do you know what we're talking about? I don't want to go into the topic. This guy got in trouble for saying in an elevator at some physics.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Ladies' lingerie. Now, here's the thing. I have done that joke as a purposefully bad joke.
Right.
With my mother in the hospital, when my father was in the hospital, and she says to me, she goes, "Really, Andy? Ladies' lingerie?"
Right.
So I think that maybe that guy would maybe in the future know not to say something like that because he didn't know what the thing was. But the fact that he got in trouble for it made me mad. But I don't want to get into these arguments with with the new atheists and the alt-right or Jordan Peterson or whoever these people are that you're reading.
No, it was stupid. Well, she was like a feminist professor.
Yeah, but it's like...
But yeah, no, it was a fucking 1950s department store joke.
Based on the ding. It's the ding.
It was
and there was ladies' lingerie.
Standard elevator joke.
You know what? There's still lingerie. I hate to tell you.
Yeah, no,
they don't call it female.
Had he said, as my wife pointed out, had he said housewares, he probably would have gotten in trouble too.
That's right. Yes, yeah. Cooking appliances and recipe books for women.
Non-gender specific sportswear.
Anti-suffrage.
This is why I don't play elevators anymore. It's just too PC for me.
Well, this is the thing.
I pressed the button of the elevator like a gay French king. And they blew up at me.
Come on, John. It's not that I'm not laughing at it, but please feel free, right? I mean, maybe Jerry's right. Maybe if he blamed the crowd for them not liking, or it's not that they didn't like it, but they didn't kiss him. Maybe he's right. Maybe he should castigate the crowd. It's worked for me.
Yes, for these 30-some years.
Lo, these 30-some years. I'm sorry about that last thing. It's like aren't you going to be one of us?
What happened to I'm committing to everything?
What were we in? What were we talking about?
No, I'm just saying you went into the lo, these 30
No, because how would anybody react?
You just bailed immediately.
Your Tale of Two Cities opening. Neither one of us does an annoying thing like a Donald Duck impression, or has a voice in general that's fake the entire way through.
Speaking of fake voices, I was on Jeff Cesario's Chet Waterhouse podcast today.
Oh, and who is Chet Waterhouse?
Chet Waterhouse
is he a sports guy?
Is his fictional sport, B-level old sportscaster character.
What's the name?
Chet Waterhouse.
And how does he
Hi, everybody! This is Chet Waterhouse.
And I bet Jeff does good voices, too.
He does it good. I mean, it's a character he's been doing for 30-some years.
Right.
And he hosts the whole show in character.
How long is the show?
And he does very funny fake promos throughout. And, so it was about a half hour, and it was filmed at the Adam Carolla complex.
Don't go there again.
That's why
you were at Podcast One or something?
I don't know what it's called. But yeah.
How'd you get out? You're lucky you got out of there alive without having to make fun of trans. Do they make you? I hear if you go to his studio, you have to make fun of trans people.
He's going, hey, and I hear you have a podcast called Thought Spiral with, and I went,
Were you able to keep my name out of it?
No.
They don't care. Is Adam Carolla there?
He was there, yeah.
Whoa. This is becoming
He wasn't there on the air with us.
He was?
He did his show. He walked out. We walked into the
okay,
studio.
but he's not hovering, is he?
No.
Get the hell out of there, Adam Carolla. Where's he going? Who's his co-host now?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention
a literal straw man? That would be a good line about somebody.
Yeah.
In a roast? Why don't you try? No, literal is not. Literal can't be funny. It literally can't be funny to say literally. I heard County Kilgariff talking on her murder podcast, which I was enjoying, and she says literally too much.
Does she?
Yeah. No, she says it. It's what happens when everybody gets a podcast and they start to focus. I, of course, have perfect diction. I never stumble. I have a kind of a mellifluous a lilting style to my voice. My wife says, I wish you would talk all the way through sex. You know why my wife doesn't like me to talk about it during sex? Ask me why she doesn't like it.
Why's that?
Because I'm just making conversation.
Right. You're doing the penis.
Is that the 30,000th time that joke's been done?
Can you maintain your erection longer than it takes to tell your tattoo erection joke?
No, but I'm having sex with I'm getting it on, as you would say.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I go, oh my God, I forgot to pick up the schmoopy present. And then she complains. Then the next thing you know, we're in divorce court.
Bong gong.
You know who I was listening to in the car, in someone else's car? It was a Lyft. I was listening to the Steve Harvey show, and he is boring.
Yeah.
I mean, not just boring. I don't even know what he's saying. That's how boring he is.
Yeah.
But I felt bad in Montreal when I said...
Like he's like Charlie Brown's teacher?
No, in Montreal I said, oh, he's got he thinks he's Richard Pryor, but then I realized that's just a white thing for me to say. He doesn't, because I think he looks slightly like a caricature. So I really think I should have been thrown out of the business.
I think he thinks he's 90s Cosby.
That's right. You're right, because he really is like, give me one example of a Steve Harvey joke.
Wow. Hey, I just messed up the Miss Universe pageant.
And then he does the feud. No, he probably does a nice job with the feud. I'm not going to start legislation against it.
No, yeah,
right. But if there was, if not having net neutrality meant I could penalize someone like him, I would be against net neutrality. Oh my God!
I'm unpacking.
Oh my
that.
God!
I'm unpacking. That.
Are you unpacking that, or you're waiting for to end? What do you think? I'm not on anything. You're going to claim I did smoke pot earlier in the day and I shouldn't.
Nah, whatever.
Do you know where I walked?
I've said I took my stand. I know.
I know.
I know I landed.
No, but you were right. You got to the point where at least I went, you're right. I probably should stop smoking pot.
How can I do better than that? I can't.
Yeah.
As an outsider.
And I can't argue anymore. But I also don't want you to be. I'm going to be walking around buzz killed by something that I heard you say. That's not cool.
No, that's not cool at all.
I walked to Encino today.
Did you really? That's
I think it's
not impressive. But
but there's a whole.
Did you take pledges for your per mile?
Please help me. Help me on my walk to Encino. There are many people, but what's the cause, though? Please.
Sure, the fund to support short walks.
Sure. Well, now, wait a second. People aren't going to think it was a hefty. I walked 4.7 miles.
Okay.
But I don't know. I think it may have counted something like I maybe went up and down an avenue.
On the account, I mean, if you get lost, it still counts as distance traveled, just not.
But
it's just not progress.
And 2 flights of stairs. When you walk underneath when you go down, you know what I'm talking about. When you go right by the big mall there,
right?
And all of a sudden you're in a dark. It's pretty like if someone wanted to kill you and they hated you and they knew you walked that way every day, you would get killed. It's underneath the freeway.
Yeah.
So that's why I never walked.
But on a busy street.
No, it's totally fine. I'm making it up. In fact, it's not only fine. One of the entrances to the mall comes right out into it.
Yeah. No, you really are afraid of the dark, aren't you?
I'm a coward. I'm a coward.
I don't want to go
No,
that
it's
far.
true. It's true.
Right.
I took one of those like D23andMe things, but it's about your courage. Yeah. I just don't have any.
Put 'em up.
Put 'em up.
Put 'em up.
There's only one thing I want you guys to do. Talk me out of it. You've killed her. She's dead. Long live Dorothy. That's my best impression, and no one ever did you get what it was?
It sounds like an early Stephen Hawking's voice simulator. Long live Dorothy.
It's one of the people who works in the Kibbutz land or whatever they went, and he goes, "She does kill the Wicked Witch of the East,
most sincerely dead."
Right, and he says, "You killed her. She's dead. Long live Dorothy." And nobody recognizes it or compliments me on it, and that's the only reason why I didn't go into impressions.
I think that might be, and I was just for some reason I was just reading some list of Wizard of Oz trivia facts online, of course.
Liar.
No, I did.
Oh, okay.
And I think that might be the only line in that scene that wasn't ADR'd.
Get out of here.
All the other Munchkin voices were done by voice actors.
And when you say ADR, you mean additional digital replacement?
Dialogue replacement, yeah.
The addition. Oh, so close. Right?
I think so.
So close.
I think that's
no,
what
you
we-
are because I looked it up.
Did you? Okay.
And then I felt like, why would I just say in my mind, additional dialogue recorded? Why would I think that would be the one? Everyone thinks that's it. Not everyone, but people of my intelligence level who don't know what animals are.
That one stung, huh?
No, what stung me was the email that came.
Okay.
Oh, like the guy was like, you didn't know that was an animal? You didn't know, what didn't I know was an animal? You didn't know a fly was an animal? Why are you emailing me that information?
Animals, yeah.
Do you think, why don't you just call me up and say I'm stupid?
And then there was our birds animals as well, I think.
What's that?
I think our birds animals was also part of that whole
Yeah,
conversation.
well, look, it's bad enough that I didn't get, did I not think birds were
I
animals?
think there might have been. Perush would know. He's like Zapruder with our show now.
I know, I have seen these people. I see Perush, he's all over it. He's like at 30, and has he come up with his own time codes, or he goes, episode 35, 6 minutes and 42 seconds in.
He's using standard time, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. We have 5 to 7 very happy fans. No, you watch this year. You come to me later and then tell me what if I didn't deliver this year.
Is it all on you this year?
No, but
Okay.
I'm going to pretend like if I do something, it's going to be what a sacrifice for me.
Well, you were in the previously on section of It's Dying Up. I'm Dying Up Here.
I've
night.
recorded my very last.
I think it was just flashed in you going, "You're rich, you cocksucker."
Oh wow! Like it coming up.
In
Oh
the
my God.
like last week.
Oh,
Scenes
thank
from
God!
last
I mean,
week.
this is good. I was in the first episode.
Yes, it
and
was a
then
scene from that.
Right. So that's right. So I will be in the next. I mean, I don't want to ruin it for you. Don't spoil alert it. Right. But I end up dead. Oh,
Wow, you
what?
really-
Should I not have said that?
Really?
I kill a couple of the series regulars.
No, you're covering now.
No, I really had fun. I'm getting better. Here's the thing. I think when you get into the problem with self-help or the problem with exploring your internal world or trying to learn about yourself and going to therapy is, I don't want to get to that point where now I figured it out. So I don't think I figured acting out, but at least I figured out when I'm uncomfortable what it is, and I learned some tricks.
Yeah.
Did I tell you this trick I learned?
No, tell me.
Okay, so I'm an agent. So let's say a lot of times when I'm acting, I would go, "Oh, don't do that hand thing again, Andy." I'm saying that internally.
Right.
Now I notice that it doesn't look real to me, so I think about that I'm an agent and I'm kind of a phony baloney. So now I'm not judging my behavior.
Okay.
I'm just using it. And I think, and I really do think that most, well, this is great. I mean, I'm not saying that you say that I'm Robert De Niro. You call me a Jack Nicholson. You say I'm the Meryl Streep of comedy. But I think most acting is really as simple, now I think as simple as like, Andy, you're going to be a fireman? Well, you should commit to the character.
Okay.
You know? That's all. Because I would always
That's
do
a breakthrough.
Yeah, everything like, I mean, if I got cast as a fireman a few years ago, I'd be like, I'm breaking the fourth wall now, people.
With an axe.
With an axe. So it was really good. The show's over now, and I'm done.
There you go.
And then they used me
on to the next one, baby.
They used me for 3 days. They paid me for 3 days.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's it's $40,000 a day. So this is a standard scale in LA is $40,000 a day.
It's
And now, what did you do? What did you? Okay, so where were you that you just said you heard you were on a podcast?
Yes.
And who was that with again?
That was with Chet Waterhouse.
Oh.
At Adam Carolla's studio. And then you went. That's where you went. Bazinga!
Well, now he does it. So is it a hard thing for him? He has like departments he goes to, or how long is the show?
It's a half hour.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Even I could go a half hour.
Some sportsy stuff, and then he does the interview. Yeah.
Have you seen that? We talked about the other show, Brandmeier, or
no?
It's like with Hank Azaria.
Oh yeah, it's a similar character.
Right, and I don't know if I like it or not. I can't tell if I mean, I laughed a little bit, but when I watch things, I mostly watch him saying, "Why aren't I Brandon Meyer?" And it's not the way that we watch things.
Probably not if you want the most enjoyment, but
that implies that I can separate from my character.
Yeah.
I just paused to take a sip.
Well played.
But Josh, you notice no ice. No, like, even if there were two.
Oh my God! How small does a thing have to be for you to be heroic?
Look, everybody knows online now that you say the wrong thing in front of you. You don't. That I've told people on my own emails that I'm sending out.
Yeah.
I say you conduct the podcast, and you start out like this. Not only did I know it wasn't a visual thing that people could see, I also got tired of it as a movement.
Waving his arms around like a jackass.
And now, what did you do? Okay, so did you have any gigs? Any gigs between last week and this week?
No, okay, Jesus.
But we are going to be open. Oh, can we say we're opening up for?
No, we're not supposed to.
Oh, she said don't?
She said don't promote it.
I did a cool thing, though. I opened up for Megan Keister.
Oh, good.
And she recorded her album. And she was so goddamn funny at this place called the Velaslave Panorama. Velaslave Panorama. It's a nice room in some area, like downtownish. And this woman, I'm not saying woman like, to get into a gender thing.
Right.
Because she'll tear you apart with that kind of thing. But she was just unbelievably funny. And I think I did a nice job setting the table.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, even that story, which wasn't much of a story, I made worse with the voice.
It was both self-aggrandizing and self-belittling.
That's true. That's my secret.
Yes.
I really am going to brag. It's the self-deprecating egomaniac. It's the character I've been doing for years.
You're fun to follow. I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah, because there's no way.
Because even if you kill, it's still a relief when you're gone.
True. But the crowd, sometimes I go, oh my God, I have put the crowd in a sour mood.
Right.
And then I feel bad for anybody following it. Because I've said they're terrible. A lot of times I will still say the crowd's terrible. If they don't get 4 or 5 of my jokes in a row,
Yeah.
they're terrible.
Sure. Why would you like them?
Why would it? Yeah. And I thought I would drop that whole part of my act, which is talking about bombing.
Yeah. How's that going?
Well, I mean, I think I'm lucky it doesn't happen as much anymore because it's better and better crowds.
Oh, I thought you were just doing fewer shows.
No, I can always have a bad show. Like in the improv, I always have, like I can have a bad show at the main stage improv.
Right.
But also, I love the lab. I love both places.
Is it just like mainstream audiences are tough for you, it seems like.
Well,
and by mainstream, I mean
like
touristy.
Right.
Like
Right, because if you want to play that game, blah, 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 so I walked into the whoa, whoa, whoa. I don't even know what you would do that they would like, but that wasn't that bit.
All right. Well, I mean, there's plenty of comics who can play to those crowds.
Absolutely.
And who aren't hacks.
Well, I say no because I have to buttress myself by making others less.
Okay.
If I can't kill in the room, nobody. No, like I've always had this discussion with you. Like Brian Regan is in the kills almost all the time,
Right.
and I love his comedy. But so how big an audience you get doesn't mean that you're doing more necessarily mainstream stuff, or just more people like it. But that's my excuse for not drawing anybody, I guess.
Right. Well, I just think that you need a sort of baseline knowledge of stand-up comedy,
Yeah.
to understand what you're doing,
Right.
because of the meta factor of it.
But sometimes I go into the act, and I call it the act, and I go into it, and I realize that I'm assuming that they're going to laugh at these observations. But then I do realize you would have to have seen me before to know that maybe I was going to be funny, because I'm not saying anything funny in the moment, but I'm making a comment about it, or I'm saying or it's a descriptive phrase.
Yeah.
And then I realize, why do you think you have to let it go? Those deserve laughs. Right. Just by assuming the Andy Kindler tone.
Well, I mean, as I was saying a couple minutes ago about how low the bar is for you to go, hey, aren't you proud of me?
The bar has been lowered in general since Trump took office, and it's really getting...
You will stub your toe on it.
I don't think I'll ever be able to do a metaphor like that now again. The bar is so low. I think we did it last week, right?
I don't know.
I think we did. The bar was so low. It had a basement entrance. Like the bar.
Like Cheers.
You think I'm funnier that I don't have my phone with me? Do you think I'm more intense?
No, I think you miss your phone.
Not really.
That's beautiful. You're free.
You think that sometimes you can tell why it's not happening for me?
No, I was just kidding. I was just, there's nothing off about you. I mean, there's nothing on, but there's nothing.
I mean, let's not oversell it either way.
Right.
It's not like, I thought about this. I'm really getting tired when I watch, when they say these stories like that are leaked stories. There's like 4 or 5 varieties of it.
Right.
By someone who
Familiar
had
with
some
the
knowledge.
situation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And so I thought it'd be funny to come up with examples that were crazy. And now I just got so tired. Just
It's just you're about to roll out a desk piece here.
said a source not familiar with the participants, and who doesn't speak English as a native language, said this. And that would be hilarious. Like it would be a shouts and murmurs for the New Yorker.
Do you have a second one?
No.
Okay.
I always want to. Do you fancy yourself writing one of those shouts and murmurs? I do all the time. Oh, I want to write these.
No, I never fancy myself writing anything at all.
Yeah, but then everybody would go.
I mean, I'll write, but I don't like it.
But there's Josh.
I never fancy it.
Yeah, but Josh Elvis Weinstein's in the New Yorker with his hilarious guide to chickens.
The only I did the last page of the Delta in-flight magazine. I did the article there once, and there's like my picture, and
that is cool.
I did a column there, and it was like incredible. This was back when you had to turn off your phones for the last 10 or 15 minutes of the flight, so that's when everyone grabbed the in-flight mag. So like so many people, like a bunch of people saw this column in a magazine that otherwise they wouldn't have seen. You know,
how'd you find out? Just from the
people
online?
People emailed me. Like people I knew saw it.
I can't remember now how long things have been happening. Like email has been happening since what year? 87? No.
I would say it's been like really widespread since early 90s.
Yeah. And cell
I think
phones?
I think I got my first AOL account, which was my first email, in 94.
I have an AOL account that's my first email.
Yeah.
That I just let junk go to. But I never had the discipline, the desire, or the love to tell people, hey, here's my new email address. That to me is nowheresville.
So,
But you probably do,
you just
right?
Ghettoize old friends. It's like they're just like.
Well,
if they're still sending stuff to your AOL account, you haven't talked to them in a while.
Boy, that doesn't sound right. But what do? You do went through the whole thing where you have to round. What do you do? You round up a staff, or how do you tell all your friends? You send an email to them. No one reads emails.
Now I scold people if they send stuff to my AOL account.
That's good.
But. And I try to steer them to the newest one.
But you have many times you've had a party about it. You had an opening.
Don't you have an email warming party?
Yeah, I do a blast. In general. I do a blast whenever I'm going to do something.
With what's it called? List Monkey or something like that.
That is one of those things where you hear the name of it and you go, "This doesn't sound like an adult enough name to make money with." Right. Hey, call my mail monkey. Call my my medical parrot. How long would you say has it been since I said something interesting, intriguing, or even like slightly amusing in this podcast?
At least a medical parrot tells me the wheels are turning.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Just getting the juice going. You can't go right out of the
WD-40 is all that we need.
Now, I told myself I'd make more notes. Did we talk about Gervais's new special?
No, he's got another.
Did we talk about
Doesn't he
it?
have a series? We talked about his special, yeah.
Oh, the next one. He has the name already.
Oh, okay.
And it's called Super Nature.
Huh.
Now I'm just so fascinated by everything he does.
Oh, good.
But no, I won't go. It was never going to happen. I will make so many more mistakes on Twitter, but never a mistake of that magnitude. But he goes, I'm doing material for my new Super Nature. He comes up with the name like that means anything. He's telling people Super Nature. And then he says, I'm going to try out some stuff on New Material Night. I thought we talked about this, that anybody who would say New Material Night, you're always supposed to be doing new material. Why would you have a night?
Wow, that's some nitpicky shit.
Yeah, but that shows that he what is he, 4 years old?
This show we're doing with Fur is a New Material show.
What's that?
The show we're doing with Fur.
Boy, if that's a language, if that's something like Pig Latin I didn't learn, it's like a trombone.
With Ben Dirkman.
You know what? Have it her way. I'll never say her name again.
It's a New Material show.
It is?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's where she's saying, she's making a rule that can't be any old material. But that's fine. But
no, that's what for herself that night is that.
Yeah, but that's what she actually does almost every time she goes out. It's
right.
New Material Night. But but like Gervais feels like his fans need to have an announcement. I'm into my autumn jokes. Please come see them. I'm done with it.
Man, you tore him a new album.
Oh, he won't be coming back after that. That I know.
Did he offend you, Ricky? Did he? Did he offend you?
Are you offended? Oh, well, good. It is amazing that someone would think just offending is the answer.
Yeah.
But there are so many of these white guys trying to make a career now by saying that it's politically correct to not say what sounds like racist things. Like they're just like there's a guy up in Canada, Jordan Peterson. Have you familiar with him or any of those people? Dave Rubin.
Only in hating email, hating tweets.
Tweets, right? Yeah, forget it. Let me just. There's some things I should hate on my own.
I don't seek out aggravation very often.
I know it's a good thing.
I mean, there's enough that's flowing my way right now on a natural course of things that I'm really not seeking it out.
Right. I am fascinated though at the level of the lowering of the bar, where you're going to make a living getting white people upset about not being able to say things about people's intelligence. It's a whole weird thing.
Right.
It's all based on Charles Murray and all these horrible
bell
things.
curve bullshit.
Yeah, it's all bullshit. So it's like, and I'm just saying, I want to know what my angle's going to be. But these are people who...
Ashkenazi Jews score highest on these tests.
That's right. That's the way I'll go with it. I mean, I know I stir stuff up too, but this business they're in can only be boring and stirring stuff up because they're always doing these snowflake style videos. Hey, snowflakes!
Right.
All right. I think I covered that one. Really came to the rescue of that one.
I don't know. I think all the right people get way more irked about being called racists, than we do being called snowflakes. I think we're winning that.
100%.
I really think we're winning that.
No question about
it. I mean, we're winning that battle. We're losing the war because it's cementing people into spite voting.
Yeah, but the thing about it, if I go by Twitter, I would jump out of a window sometimes.
Yeah.
Because of these robots or Russian trolls or whatever. I don't even think they're Russian trolls. That's the sad part. If they were trolls, I would go, okay, at least they're being paid to do it. But just like people who, what does "Make America Great Again" mean? It means nothing. And they load them up with these. They've got about 9 of them.
But he announced his slogan for the next one: "Keep America Great."
Is that what he said?
It's like mission accomplished already.
Yeah, you know what though? The one thing I want to say is that he really has helped things in the Middle East. You know, I was worried about
it. Absolutely.
First of all, we're Jewish. We don't.
He's a peacemaker.
He's a peacemaker. I already feel that the Israel's government is a chain around my neck my whole life, except for then they had the good governments like Yitzhak Rabin. So I've had to deal with this Netanyahu. I thought everyone hated Netanyahu, and now he's in charge. I can't even believe he's in charge. I used to mock him when he would come on these shows his whole life.
Yeah.
And so this is not good. I'm telling you, Jews, I'm not saying Jews as a religion, but you specific Jews, you Jews know who you are. I guess there's no way of saying it where it doesn't just sound wrong on my end. Hey, Jews, take it down a notch.
Right. Yeah, the Israel thing it's tough. It's tough to.
It seems now they're all like the stuff that happened today, where they just shot all those people. I mean, I don't understand how that happens. You know? No. That used to be like. I think I have a kind of a what's it called when you have a rose-colored? Yeah, I look at the past with rose-colored glasses, like
nostalgic.
Nostalgic. It's like the '60s. I loved the '60s, the Beatles, all of this stuff. But there were also people getting assassinated.
Right.
You know, it was like. I guess because I was younger, it could have more of a romantic feel to it.
Sure. And we look back on it romantically. And also, I think I notice myself now in my regular life that I didn't want to face, like if I felt trauma was happening, I tried not to deal with it. Like if it was family trauma. And I now know that things like Martin Luther King, I think the way I was, I was too young, but I kind of didn't want to think about it as I got older, but because you think about it, it's just horrifying. Right.
You know, and
what was the first one you did think about?
Well, the one that almost ended the one that is so weirdly almost ended I felt like it was the end of my life was when John Lennon.
Right.
And then, is Andy okay about Harry Chapin? So, that was the first person.
What about Lyman Bostock?
Who's that?
Baseball player.
I don't remember that name. Oh, maybe now a little bit. Jerry Lumpy? Sure.
Lumpy Rutherford also.
Yeah. But I still have hope, Josh.
Do you?
I forgot what we're talking about, and I have a series of things that I say now when I forgot what I'm talking about. And one of them was, but I still have hope, Josh.
And we're out. Therapy? How's that going?
Oh. Therapy has been going so great, but it also makes me focus on the fact that I know my problem is that I don't trust myself and I don't like myself on certain levels. In other levels, I'm like, I'm happening. I get it. But on the levels where I'm unsure of myself and mad at myself, it's so easy to make your therapist the person you want to impress.
Right.
You know, so all weekend long I go through this thing. What should I talk about Tuesday? You know, like it's a show coming up.
Right.
But I think that happens when you're in therapy. I think that's going to go away. I hope a year from now, I'm still not talking about worrying about your explosive temper. I know Josh likes me to bring...
You have to leave him, Andy. You have to leave him.
He wants Western bagels. And if he doesn't get Western bagels, he gets...
Speaking of carbs,
that's
right.
How
I'm wired now.
That's right.
I'm drinking sugar in my coffee for like the first time in over a year. I'm having sugar in my coffee.
What does it feel like?
It's so tasty.
Is it really tasty?
It really is, yeah. I'm not going back, but I've just decided I'm having dessert. And it's sugar in my coffee.
Wow, what a sad life.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I
know. You should be out there saying...
I'm in the maintenance phase of the weight loss thing now.
I have more Johnny Carson updates for you.
Oh, good.
Where Robert Blake came on. I saw Robert Blake on there. And Charles Fleischer. Do you remember Charles Fleischer?
Sure, of course.
Did you remember his stand-up?
Yeah.
I never saw his stand-up in those days. He had long hair and he came out with a machine and it was like very wacky.
Yeah, and proppy.
And very proppy.
Right.
And at one point, Robert Blake comes out. And when I was a kid, and I would watch Robert Blake on Johnny Carson, I thought it was the greatest. I thought he was the funniest, most edgiest guy. It's like, well, how is he saying these things?
Right.
I realize now that he is boring and rambling.
Yeah.
Is all he was.
Batshit crazy.
Batshit crazy. And Johnny hung with him, but it was it wasn't like, I thought he was more like Burt Reynolds.
For some reason, I saw him on Larry Miller or Larry King. I'm sorry. Larry Miller would be a whole different show.
Yeah.
But he's talking. This was.
Before, I remember
this
that.
This is before the murder thing, where
he
was talking about his relationship with his son.
Oh, he used to go on before he murdered, right, with Larry King?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, my son and I'd take a bullet for him, but we can't have dinner."
Anything but. That is, yeah, and he also had a fake accent. He has a fake street accent.
Yeah, because he was an actor since he was in the Little Rascals.
But he's like, I talked to that thing, and you put because my friend John Ridley used to do a bit about Beretta, which I love, but he said, I can't do it anymore. It's been off the air for 30 years. But I was like,
40.
Take that to the bank and put that in the bank. He had that whole
right.
Fake.
That's the name of that tune.
That's the name of that tune.
Yeah. Hey, my bird just shit on my shoulder.
Did Beretta have a bird?
Yes.
But he also wanted to let people know.
Don't do the time if
was that the song?
Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Oh no. Don't do it. Don't do it. Keep your eye on the sparrow. When the going gets narrow. Don't do it.
I didn't know that song. That's the Beretta song?
Beretta song, yeah.
How can now that I think about it, I don't think I watched that show that much.
I think it might have actually been Sammy Davis Jr. singing it, so I wasn't doing a good impression, really. But,
yeah, I liked it.
But that's how it sounds in my head.
Does that show hold up?
I can't imagine.
I can't imagine it holding up. I liked him in Cold Blood.
Yeah, he was great in that.
But what they did, though,
that's about it as far as I'm concerned. I mean, sure, he was great in Coast to Coast with Diane Cannon.
I don't know that.
It was a terrible movie. Terrible movie.
But what they did, though, was at one point, Robert Blake just like kind of apropos of nothing was like, "I'm just feeling so wonderful tonight," and Johnny it was like making fun of effeminacy was the funniest thing to those guys. They couldn't stop. They were like, it was like subversive in a way, and now it looks like gay French King material.
Right. No, so much doesn't
yes
travel.
The homophobia of the 80s. Yes. The homophobia of the 80s.
Yeah.
There's no way you can get back to that delightful time when it was just, what are those two guys doing?
Hello there.
Hello there, ma. So yeah. So, but
I was watching. I saw before you came over. I was flipping by a Johnny Carson rerun, and he was talking about there's a female astronaut now, Kathy something, and they go Sally Jenkins right now. Ride. It's Sally Ride. That's right.
He's probably could be sometimes a study in misogyny, right?
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know what. I don't know what his block was, but it was just like it's Cat. I want to say Dr. Kathy Jenkins.
He wasn't even making a joke, right?
No, he wasn't. He just was like, why wasn't that on the cue card if he was going to bring up her name?
Sally.
And then he mentioned Governor Jerry Brown, which was weird.
I know the first Governor Jerry Brown. Not his father.
No, but Governor Moonbeam.
Moonbeam. Well, the thing that I was also amazed about was not amazed about, but you could see why he wanted to get it to an hour at some point, because it is almost interminable sometimes. Like I like it, but I like it. I like the pace of it, and I like having more time with celebrities.
Yeah,
but an hour and a half is a little too long.
It's a long time. It becomes a waiting room.
It used to be. Was it 2 hours at one point?
No, I think it was always 90 minutes. Yeah. But I'm not positive about it.
It's like a waiting room?
Yeah, that's what it starts to feel like in the third 30-minute chunk.
But it is Fernando Lamas. That guy was young. It's unbelievable. People were young.
Oh, yeah.
And Robert Blake had done if you watch this, he does 4 or 5 jokes about killing people. I mean, it's like as if Bonnie Lee, what is her name?
Bonnie
Blakely?
Blakely, I think. No, that's Robert Blake. I don't know.
I don't know what I'm saying. I forgot again.
He did 4 or 5 jokes that were murder-based.
That you could see that he was. You could see that. I'm surprised he hadn't killed more people before that. I'm not saying he killed her, because it does make sense to me that a lot of times.
And I'm not saying he didn't kill others before her.
And I'm not saying that either. I'm just saying that it sounded pretty legit when he said that he went back to his car to look for his gun. That might be the worst.
No, he went back to the restaurant.
Oh, to look for his gun. He left his
gun in the booth. Wink.
Now, when he says what is he trying to cover up for? Why did he go back to the restaurant? Do we know?
I don't. It's been a long time, Andy.
I know, but every time I go into
true crime buff.
Well, every time I go by Vitello's, I think of it.
Sure.
I can't order anything at Vitello's thinking about murder.
I'll have the linguine and murder.
Do you want the murder on the side? See, Josh, if we wrote these kind of jokes and we got into the rhythm of it, it wouldn't help.
It would be the death of us, Kindler. Do you want to go to
yeah, why
questions?
Not? Is there anything that you haven't covered in your life that you could like to talk about that wouldn't have to start after my horribly awkward introductions?
No. I mean, that was I had the 2 polls this week. I had the very happy Amazon Prime thing,
right,
and then I've been dealing with the hospice thing.
Did I tell you
That's
about?
Been highly involved.
Oh, right. Yeah, that was exactly. But did I tell you about my deal with Amazon Prime? I signed a deal with Showtime. I get HBO and Stars.
I signed a deal with CPAP, and
we were both delighted by that. But my joke is going well where I say, I got a CPAC by mistake. They first gave me a CPAC, and my breathing was just racist. You don't want to give it up for me because I'm so hilarious. Is that what it is? I'm so hilarious?
Yes. And that joke ages really well, too. That's funnier the second or third time, for sure.
It was a tweet.
Oh, well, yeah, that's also good. Reading tweets is always also a good laugh getter.
Oh, you want to do that? I left my phone. Otherwise, I'd be right now.
Damn it.
See, because if my phone was here, I could go to, maybe people would know what my grocery lists are like. We seem to be getting a lot of mail, I've noticed.
We have.
And a lot of times I'm almost tempted.
At thoughtspiralshow@gmail.com.
_.
No, stop saying it.
Mr. Weinstein, how come you're not adding _ to our email address?
I won't do it, Mr. Kindler.
That is the best I can come up with.
All right.
And you top me, Mr. Kindler.
Alex, our very own Alex, right off the top,
Showbiz?
at the top of the list, Showbiz, although not using the Showbiz account, using his personal account.
I didn't know he had a personal account.
Favorite SCTV cast member.
Oh, that's like almost impossible. That is almost impossible to say. But I have favorites. Eugene Levy.
Yeah.
But do you have a favorite? I don't think you have a favorite. They're all amazing. Candy was
I have
great.
a favorite, Joe Flaherty, because I worked with him.
Oh yeah, and he was amazing.
And he was
Count
great.
Floyd. Oh, kids, you're gonna get. But
No,
then
you were just doing Floyd the Barber there.
Andy. You think I should add a
Scary.
Scary kids? But then you had to love the Schmengi brothers.
Cabbage rolls and coffee. I love the Schmengi brothers.
What would it be like if Yul Hauser went down and interviewed the SCTV crew?
That's fantastic. I'm meeting the Schmengi brothers. Hi there, Hugh. Man, I can't do it. I can't. Hey there, Hugh Hauser.
You wrote that?
Hi there, ya Schmengi. How are you today? I'm fine. I can't do it.
You wrote that? You wrote that?
I just can't.
That's fantastic.
It's all in the same.
You wrote that comedy?
The exact same address in my throat.
Well, the thing about it is sometimes I have been getting emails that say the characters are good, but give it a break.
I know. I'm sad.
I am sad. I'm not afraid to be sad on the podcast because it's better than when I'm boring.
Dana Schwartz says, how do stand-up comedians typically get out-of-town jobs? Do your reps go out soliciting venues? Do venues contact your reps? Do you ask your reps to get you in specific places? Or some of all? Is a rep always involved?
Not when we first started, right?
No.
Yeah, when I first started, I booked myself just on word of mouth for many years. And now I have my manager does it, but it is not something that is a thriving business. People who book small rooms and things like that. I mean, it's not like some of the big companies, they book like big concerts and stuff like that.
Right.
What am I saying?
Well, it's kind of all the above.
It is all the above.
You know, like it's, a lot of times if you're trying to get into a particular club, you'll use someone else's name as a recommendation, who works there a lot or who's a favorite there, or, sometimes it depends on how many, social media followers you have.
But recommendations are almost key.
Yeah, they're pretty essential.
For club work.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these guys who book the clubs, a lot of them know comedy, but sometimes they don't know everything about who's coming up.
Yeah, so much of show business is really based on people recommending you.
Yeah.
It's anytime someone is willing to stake something on their opinion, people pay attention to it because people are so afraid to do so.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So if I'm willing to stake my quote-unquote reputation recommending Andy Kindler, which,
that wouldn't happen.
Hypothetically, then someone's gonna take that seriously if they take me seriously.
Yeah, you're putting but you're not. Yeah, you're not putting your neck on the line, but close. I don't know what I say. I really have a fake personality that has replaced what was I talking about?
Really,
I just say something that seems approximately in the pocket for what we were talking about. Now I remember what we were talking about.
So you're just going to come off like a fucking alien.
No, because
I wanted to assimilate.
I wanted to say to you that the other thing that is complete nonsense, though, in a way, is it's not what you know, it's not who you know. It's not what you know, it's who you know. That's not really true, even though who you know could
also helps.
Be helpful. But you better be, in general, you better have, not you better, I don't want to feel bad.
No, but you better. If when your opportunity comes, you better fucking be ready for it.
Which I think Jack Nicholson, that's his quote. He said, you'll get your shot. Just be ready, you'll get your shot. And then when he said that, I was like, has he seen my acting? How ready can I get? But that's not the new Andy. The new Andy is, good evening, gentlemen.
I'm controlling my arms now.
Hello. It's a procedural. I'd be happy to. Would you lead me in, please? Officer Smokin'. Oh, God. Why should I get excited about doing it?
You're no-don'ting yourself.
No.
Perush.
Minus.
Perush.
In the house.
J. Elvis Weinstein, about the usage of simoleons by Andy Kindler.
Yes, I saw
Dying Up
this,
Here.
but I
Yes.
did not want to deal with this online.
I actually dealt with this earlier today, but because there was a few people involved here. And,
I did see it, too.
He said, actually, Andy did use the word naturally during a long mock of you spending on your Malibu trip in episode 29 at the 54-minute mark. Amelia Fox will attest.
That's Andy.
Yeah. So, yes, and my condemnation wasn't of the use of the word simoleons in general. There's a time and place for it. I believe it's about how it was deployed in that scene.
But you know what's amazing?
Because if they were writing the character as Andy Kindler, maybe it works. But you weren't doing Andy Kindler. You were acting.
No.
You were doing an agent.
Do you think I could have? You think it's like he wouldn't have said that?
I think they wrote simoleons because they thought Andy Kindler would say
Andy
that.
with Kindler said, I might say,
but you weren't giving it an Andy Kindler read necessarily.
Well, sometimes I'll say this is an Andy Kindler when I get the script.
Yeah, it's really, I love it when you do that.
But
you were actually trying to act.
Yes. Please, I need complete silence. But here's the thing: it also shows you about how, because we live in such a supercharged atmosphere, to me, like the fact that you had an opinion about it. This is what you thought about it. But then there's some people like, not that these guys are getting upset, but there are some people who, that's how arguments start in a way, and then it gets around town. You know what Josh Elvis Weinstein thinks about Andy's role in the thing. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just saying is, don't you notice that it whips up people a little bit, but not like you can't deal with the blowback, but it sometimes makes you
What does?
Okay, when you have an argument on Twitter, right?
Okay, sure.
It makes you, at the end of the argument, not even want to either talk about simoleons, because it always says, well, in that context, it always goes through
I just did one beat, and I was out.
Yeah. Oh, no, I know. You did a good job. Yeah, you said, and that's why I'm glad that he took the thing out. And then I saw you say something else later, which was, what was it?
I don't remember.
You don't have it right there?
Oh, I guess I do if I click it. So he said that, then Amelia Fox said, bingo, simoleon is part of the Kindler lingo. And I said, my criticism isn't about simply using the word. Oh, there's a time and place for simoleons. It's the way it was deployed. The character isn't Kindler.
Well, you're right in this sense completely. It's if I might say simoleons at the end of lettuce, ice, a whole run,
right,
where it starts to get more absurd. But I'm not a guy who would say, hey, simoleons.
Yeah. Yeah, it just didn't ring. It just didn't ring. It wasn't poetry. Yeah. It happens.
It happens. I think that I'm able to...
I have to dial back my dying up here criticism since now you're on it.
I would prefer that you don't jinx the show.
I watched it last night again.
I haven't seen the second episode.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to say about the second episode?
I have some criticisms. I'll keep them to myself.
No. Well, you should voice them if you want to voice them.
No, who cares?
Just let the check. Let the check clear.
All righty. Here's a couple of Seth Dick the Thirds. Do you like watching thunderstorms?
Yeah, I do.
I do too. I especially miss them because in LA we don't really have them.
Right.
It's very rare, and you almost never have like the big lightning-y show storm like you have in the Midwest in the summer.
Well, you had more than I would have had in New York, right? Probably.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Do you have big thunderstorms in Minnesota?
Yeah, great ones. Frog stranglers, gully washers.
Why are they calling that? Because they kill frogs?
I hate you sometimes. No.
Sometimes.
Never.
You dog, you. We know we have to
also from the Seth Dick the Third collection, what natural wonder that you've seen in person was the most impressive?
Oh, natural wonder.
Yeah.
I would go with either Zion or Bryce. They both were equally. Maybe Bryce.
Yeah.
Canyon.
It might be Grand Canyon for me.
Yeah. I've seen the Grand Canyon, but I don't know. I think I was expecting too much. It is amazing.
Yeah.
It's like a big hole in the goddamn ground. Am I wrong?
Huh?
Did you walk into it?
No. Yeah. Just it was. I went there when I was moving out here.
Me too. Many, many years before you.
Yes.
And you haven't been back since?
I have not. Allison's never been, so we'll make it there at some point.
You have to go at one point. Have you been to Bryce or Zion?
No.
The thing that's nice about Bryce is you can drive down more into it.
Yeah.
You know, you can really, without having to take rent a mule, a guide, canteen, mess kit. I would have been.
Anything else we're
Once
renting?
you go down, when you go down there, right?
Yeah.
Are there malls down there?
Yes.
There are some bowling alleys down there, right? In the Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon bowling.
There's more than you'd think.
No, there's nothing down there in the valley, is there?
Sure.
I'm so confused. How do you live in a hall? Are they standing like sideways?
Yes.
There's no. I thought you wouldn't have it. There's no people down there.
No, there's no people down there.
Oh, there isn't. But you could go. Can you go on a mule ride?
Yeah. Yes, you can. It's fantastic.
Hey, man,
You can take a mule all the way to the bottom of the canyon. Are you getting this, Louie? We're going down into the Grand Canyon.
It is a Grand Canyon.
Millions of years of erosion caused the walls to peel away from the river. It is an amazing process, and I'm going to take you through every level of sediment.
Yes, and Louis, are you getting this and also getting it on a scientific level?
This is from the Mesozoic period.
He never went to the Grand Canyon. You know why?
It wasn't California gold.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you is the least helpful comedy add-on. Thank you. I don't have anything with that.
I'm going from Baja to Bakersfield and from Eureka to your backyard.
Is that your tease for the
California
for the new
Gold?
season? This year on California Gold, I go up to Buellton and have some pea soup. And Bakersfield. Fresno. I don't have a thing. You had the whole thing going.
Gigi Griffith, Andy, if you would please, what was it like to work on Dr. Katz? Did it change much from the first time to the second?
It was really amazing. I think I've talked about it before here or not, but it was like when I first went there, I went to Boston, I went to the studio and did it with him there, and it was always different because when I first started doing that show, I had a problem. I was kind of copying Jonathan Katz's. It was hard not to do that show and not copy the rhythms of the existing voices of the first couple I'd seen.
Yeah.
And I think that I had to kind of they didn't say stop doing that voice. But
You were trying to deadpan it, kind of?
Yeah, trying to deadpan it.
Right.
But then when you get into, I've done so many I did other things with Jonathan Katz, a show called Dick and Paula. And I love that whole format. I love I don't know if Tom Snyder, not the Tom Snyder we know, but the Tom Snyder who was behind Dr. Katz.
Yeah.
He's like a computer.
Not the inventor of the color teeny.
That is, and I guess in a way, Color Teeny is pretty clever, but I don't know. You don't have the collected Tom Snyder, do you?
No, I don't. But he did some great.
He did. He had
some
great
great
interviews.
interviews.
He was good. But then he liked people like Dennis Prager.
Lone Shark wants to know, or Lone Shark, Lone. See,
Oh.
I'm trying to sell people's puns for them on air here. Andy, were you afraid of the Son of Sam back in the day? Did you avoid taking your girls to lovers' lanes?
Well, I think I'd moved out here. Was it in the 70s?
I think 77 was that summer.
Yeah,
It was a long, hot summer.
I think I
Andy.
was
It
here.
a hot summer, Andy, and
I don't.
maybe the hottest summer.
I remember. I think I was scared about it because.
If I'm taking bets.
Well, I wasn't on any dates, so remember when I took that beautiful lady, in my sedan, over to Lookout Point?
I spent some simoleons on her in my jalopy.
But he is one of the scare. Him and Mark David Chapman are two of the people that they make me so angry.
Yeah. It's a special New York sort of killer anger.
I don't even know. It's just I guess I'm not a fan of any of those people.
Tweet Bahara says, either of you ever seen a ghost? I saw a woman, maybe a maid from the early 1900s, walk through my bed one night. I promise you I was wide awake and reading. You guys?
I have not, but I believe it. I have not seen a ghost.
I've never seen a ghost. The closest I've ever been to sort of feeling a ghost was when I was driving through Little Bighorn.
Oh.
There was like this very weird ghosty kind of feeling.
Where is Little Bighorn?
It's in Montana.
Wow. I mean, I believe that there are so many things that are possible. I really do believe that there are everything is kind of happening right now. I mean, that's my current thing. It's kind of all, since time is a construct, everything is kind of happening now on some parallel level. I have no proof of it, though.
Right. I saw a news story like years later about Little Bighorn, and like there was like this Indian tour guy basically going, yes, the spirits are very close to the surface here.
So what's your take on it when you think back? You think you may have sensed something, or you don't? Or
I know I sensed something,
right?
But
like a feeling or a visual thing?
Not a visual thing. It was all a feeling.
Yeah,
it was all a feeling. It was a feeling of not being alone, of a sense of other souls around, kind of, for lack of a better word. None of it was very clear, but it was like this very distinct kind of supernatural feeling.
Right.
And then I looked at the map later and found out I was driving through Little Bighorn.
Oh, well, that's even more.
It wasn't a planted thought. Should have been part of the story. Probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I didn't really think that you would be like, okay, Little Bighorn, give it.
Because it wasn't like through the actual tourist part of the park, but it was part of the whole.
Is that where Custer's last stand was?
Yeah.
I'm so glad that he lost, Custer.
Yeah, what an asshole.
He was kind of an asshole, wasn't he? Blustery.
Yeah, by all accounts.
He shouldn't have called it his last stand, too.
No, that was a mistake. That's just bad PR. That's bad advance work.
Yeah. It's almost like an anti-Tony Robbins.
The fact that he even was able to recruit people is a miracle.
Yes. It's my last stand. But
Who's with me?
No, I'm not with you. Don't you have a plan? Yes, I plan to kill us all.
Please, just this one last stand. Just come with me.
And he got killed by who?
Indians. I don't know who.
No,
actually.
Cochise. Come on. I don't know what I'm saying. Cochise was the name I heard.
Hey, Cochise.
Hey, listen, Cochise. Hey, that's like watching Andy Hardy movie on the back of a 32 Plymouth when Amelia Earhart got back from that cross-country trip, babe. He ran out of references. Don't you wish he would run out of references? Dennis Miller?
I think he has.
Yeah, he has. What do you think he tells himself? He must know on some level that he's awful. Like that it's like he doesn't.
Hey, D-Man, you're doing good. Good morning, friend. Let's brush these pearly whites and get on with our day.
Pearly whites. He thinks he's great.
Flip these locks into shape. Get these pearly whites glistening. Get out there sub-referencing.
You're doing a little bobblehead thing with it.
Well, yeah, that's part of the whole game. Chach.
Hey, Chi-Chi. That's how he warms up in the morning. Chi-Chi, choo-choo, cha-cha, cha-cha. He's an awful man.
I did a tweet the other day. There was like a historical pictures tweet, and it was Bruce Lee winning the Hong Kong cha-cha competition. And I went, hey, Dennis Miller won that once.
I didn't see that tweet. Was it a tweet?
It was a tweet.
I mean, I can't keep.
There's a lot of tweets you haven't seen. If you've been watching my tweets, you would have known about the Amazon Prime thing too, because I'm pounding the shit out of it on Twitter.
Well, one thing is healthy is that I am not on Twitter as much.
Yes, I will take it. Nick Kosei says, hey, Andy, you seem like a pretty spiritual feller. I was just wondering if you have ever read any of the great Russian works. If so, what were your impressions? If not, I think you'd at least enjoy Dostoevsky's anti-Semitism.
Wait a second. Are you saying he's anti-Semitic, Dostoevsky?
I believe that's what he's saying, yes.
I don't remember that from reading. I read Crime and Punishment, which I enjoyed very much. I didn't know about the anti-Semitism. I read this other book, and it was all about you, boo, 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 like that book from Nabokov.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wanting to reference Nabokov. No, I haven't read. Did he say that there's Russian spiritual writers? Is that what he's saying?
Yeah. He said, hey, Andy, you seem like a pretty spiritual fellow.
That's true.
I was wondering if you've ever read any of the great Russian works.
Russian works. Okay, so no, other than Dostoevsky, I should have read these things. I've read nothing. I saw that one guy dance, Balanchine.
Balanchine?
No.
Baryshnikov?
Mikhail Baryshnikov, but there was a guy before him called Ballantine or Balancine.
There was Balanchine.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you didn't see him.
But now all I can think of is that I didn't know Dostoevsky was anti-Semitic.
Well, now you're never going to read another Dostoevsky book.
It doesn't make me want to that much. I mean, I know Wagner was anti-Semitic, but
sure.
He wrote a nice etude.
Dan Beaumarchais says, Dear Andy and Josh, and possibly some third party who reads these messages, what roles in past films or TV shows would each of you like to have played?
I would have liked to have been like, maybe Seinfeld. I don't know. Who would you like to have played? I don't even really quite get that in a way. Do you? I mean, Dan, you're trying to stump us.
I would like to have played Albert Brooks' role in every Albert Brooks thing. How about that?
Right, but
especially broadcast news. That's one of my my favorite characters, favorite roles, favorite all things.
I would say that even though I can be narcissistic and I can be jealous and all those kind of things, I never look at those movies thinking I wish I had done them. I was like, I wish I could make something that good.
Right.
But it's like I'm just drinking in how much I love him.
Once in a while, I get jealous of shit.
Yeah.
Not because of its success, but because of its creative success. Mm-hmm. But.
Oh, you mean because of what the person accomplished creatively?
Yeah. You just kind of go, wow, you just sort of get mad at yourself. Like, I don't know if I have something that good in me.
I think that's a natural human thing.
Yeah.
But don't go too far with it.
No.
Don't go running down the street with a knife going,
I suck. I'm horrible. I'm a little distracted. We changed the art in here.
Oh, I saw a thing, too, on Facebook that Allison sent, Elon's show.
Yeah.
Looks great.
This is all Elon stuff.
Oh, my God. I know, that's right. That's what made me think about it. Elon's unbelievably great.
Elon is my stepson, by the way.
He's my stepson.
What?
Bum, bum, bum. Would you have that kind of music there? Bum, bum, bum. But he's having a show where?
It was already.
Oh.
So,
it's one of the few times I've read my Facebook messages.
But he'll be doing it next month.
I love the poster for it.
Yeah, it was cool.
What's the space called?
It was the NoHo Art Walk.
Oh. Do they open up? And people stroll around type of thing.
Yeah.
Why can't I? Is there an interviewing school I can go to?
Just like such an old fucking grandma sometimes.
No, I mean seriously, but I could brush up on this somehow. Oh, is that arts and crafts work show?
Oh, is that people walk around?
When they say art walk, do they mean really that the art walks around, or did the people walk around to see the art? Oh yeah. What's worse, me not listening or me doing a phony baloney listening?
I don't know. It's kind of a Hobson's choice, if you will.
Oh, a Hobson's choice, you say?
Tommy Barcanero.
Tommy Barcanero.
How would you classify the relationship between stand-up comics and improv troupes? Is there a mutual feeling of respect, some condescension from one group to the other, or no such consensus?
Well, there are people like Mark Maron. The thing that is delightful, but I could see how they would make people feel bad is like he really could go after improv groups and things like that.
Yeah,
I never felt that. I mean, some stand-ups really actively don't like improv people because they Mark will go, oh, you got your little skit, you doing your little thing.
Right.
I've never been that way though. I know it's not quite for me,
right,
but I love watching it when it's good.
Yeah, but it so rarely is.
Well, that might be something. Well, I'm trying to think of what I've seen over the years. I've seen funny things of the Groundlings, but I can't think of anything in a long time.
Right. I tend to think, and this is obviously from a biased stand-up side of the aisle. I tend to think that many sketch performers want to be stand-ups.
Right.
Not that many stand-ups necessarily want to go the other way.
Except when you think of people like Martin Short and all these brilliant people who were sketch people.
Yeah.
They were...
but not stand-ups.
Not stand-ups. I don't think I could do what they do.
No, I'm not saying there is no respect going back the other way.
What were you saying then? I didn't quite get what you were saying.
I'm just saying that I think there's a lot of
they want to be
people
stand-ups.
who go, I'd love to do stand-up, but I don't have that thing that makes me able to stand out there alone and do the thing, or I'm scared in some way.
And I had the same thing with improv. I want to say not improv stuff, sketch stuff. You know, like SCTV was a sketch show, obviously. Yeah. I'm always amazed at it, but I never, you know, I submitted for Saturday Night Live as a writer once. Yeah. I didn't get it, obviously, and I probably would have done, I don't know how well I would have done in that environment, but I have never seen myself as like, everyone fantasizes about it, but I don't walk around with different characters in my head. You know, some people do.
You know me, I'm a man of 1,000 characters right here on the show.
You mean, do you list them or do you do them?
No, I just list them.
Oh,
that's the act.
There's a guy who is quite a character.
Right. There's the kid from 6th grade who used to make jokes at lunch.
Did you ever see a kid who was a little disconnected from reality in school? I'm not going to say his name because he was a nice kid, but he would play with these paper things just all day long. Like flicking paper things on his desk. What's that called? And why am I looking at him all day?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, you remember in grade school you had these like
paper footballs?
No, they're like, you remember the desk? Did you have desks that where the chair was kind of tied to the desk sometimes?
Yeah.
Okay, so then he would have a surface there, his own desk, and he would take up small pieces of paper, and he would like flick them into each other all day long.
Yeah. Are you trying to say that this is like a universal thing that everyone had one of those guys?
No. It would have been good is if I could have come up with an interesting observation about him doing that, or you could have gone, "Oh, I'll never forget those days," something like that.
I had there was a kid in my class who walked around. And I probably have mentioned him before, but he walked around with this little card file, like a file of index cards, and each card had a Doctor Who character on it.
I don't know. This can't be a true story.
This is a true story.
You went to some kind of a Toastmasters panel stories class.
No.
And so each one had a
different character, Doctor Who character. So he had this this database essentially in card form. In card form.
But they were like index cards.
Index cards, yes.
That
each card contained, the breakdown of a Doctor Who character.
And did he get arrested eventually? Did he end up jumping off a building?
No, he ended up weird though.
Well, when I became a professional bartender, when I went to American Bartender School, which I actually did go to, I had written on index cards various drinks.
Sure, but that was to quiz yourself.
Golden Cadillac, yes. There was a reason for it. Yeah. That's a difference, and it was an actual feel that you could have.
Right.
As opposed to, I don't even understand, like, I have a friend, Matt, Matt Weinhold, he's very funny comedian.
Just the name.
And he loves, like, all of these, what's this genre called that we're talking about? Doctor Who, that kind of thing.
Sci-fi.
He loves all these things, but I don't understand the attraction of Doctor Who. Do you?
I never did, and it's since I live sort of on the periphery of nerd world, I feel like it's a huge gap in my.
Are there people that you're proud to
knowledge.
Are there people that you're proud to call your friends who love it?
There's people I'm proud to call my friends who like it.
That's true.
I don't know any big major Who heads or whatever they're called.
But it's like
Hoo-has.
I'm kind of at the end of my rope with say something like Star Trek, for example. I hate Shatner.
Yeah.
And I'm done with it.
Shatner's not involved.
I know, but I'm done. No, I'm not talking about the new movies that are made.
Yeah.
But just the fact that it gets old at one point, or you can never go back to the Trouble with Tribbles and enjoying it for the camp reason.
Right.
That will never happen again. I can never watch it. I probably watched episodes 1,000,000 times of that show.
Right.
So
yes, the thing that was once campy now has faux gravitas.
Yeah.
Yeah, Doctor Who was like, it just looked so shitty to me when I was a kid and saw it on PBS.
So when you saw it on PBS, but I get that the people who like it they like it because it's campy?
No, I think there's genuinely decent storytelling there, I think.
Oh, okay.
And good sci-fi stories. I just think that I was so turned off by the production values as a kid.
Yeah. Which people make fun of, right?
Well, I think so. I mean, obviously the new ones are all up to modern day standards, but it was super shitty looking. And even by my standards as a little kid, I was like, wow, that's super shitty looking. And it just turned me off so much that I never got into it. It just seemed boring and weird when I was a little kid.
Did they ever do this joke? Doctor Who? I don't know who the name of the doctor is. That's Doctor Who?
No.
What's the name of the doctor on third base? I don't know.
Why?
That would be a great thing, like an algebra. Y equals X. I don't know why you're with your X. Oh, God, it's going to be amazing. You can't. You're trying to figure me out. I see those eyeballs going, what is his problem? There's got to be a reason why he's doing it.
Right.
There has to be an animating reason.
So it's like, I'm trying to what does he possibly stand to gain from this? This is kind of
what do you possibly? That sounds like that Norm Macdonald joke, right?
Yes.
I love that. Why did I lie about? Did you see that movie with Willie Nelson and the horse? Yes. Why did I say yes there? Why did I stand to gain from that stinking lie?
Parush wants to know, did you guys see Hari Kondabolu's The Problem with Apu?
I want to see that. And this is something I feel very, very bad about, is that I think he's a hilarious comic. And when he sent it to my direct message to watch it. I didn't understand it because I haven't watched The Simpsons in so many years. But it's supposed to be amazing. And do you know what's happening with that?
Yeah.
So
I haven't seen it.
But do you have a take on the Apu character or not much? Or, I mean, he's from, Hari Kondabolu. I don't know where the country is that Apu's from, but he just does the whole movie about what's wrong with that character.
I believe Apu is Indian.
Yes. Don't you think I should have known at least what it was? That he's Indian? I do believe Hari is from India.
Yeah.
I hope I'm right about that.
I think it's the movie that I think covers sort of all sorts of Southeast Asian and Southern Asian prejudices.
You have seen it?
No, but I've seen enough about it.
Right, I got it. Yeah, I do want to see it though.
But I'm torn on it, because there's the argument that it's been around for 30 years.
Right.
And then there's the argument it's been around for 30 fucking years.
Yes.
It's time,
Like it's time to get rid of it.
Like we've known for many, many years that this was a hack joke that lived.
Yeah.
And yes, they've given him more dimensions over the years, but still the root of it is a hack joke, a hack racist stereotype that wasn't offensive necessarily 30 years ago, but was still hack.
Yeah. Do you think it was always hacked?
It was always hacked to do, but yes, by the time the Simpsons,
7-Eleven or something?
Well, the Quickie Mart, yeah.
Oh, okay.
He owned the Quickie Mart. And that's,
yeah.
Certainly by 1989, it was a hack joke already.
Is he still on the show?
Yes.
Is he like a Jar Jar Binks?
Well, I think he's largely a beloved character. But he's obviously also a sore point for a lot of people, and I think rightfully so.
Well, this is something
because it's not like they have other, fleshed out Indian characters.
Well, that's the problem inherently too, is that there aren't. It's like I'm realizing now that I don't think I've been an asshole in my life, but I do think I've sometimes not looked like when I saw Trump talking to that woman on the Access Hollywood tape. I really felt offended for that woman. I never felt that way, like in a position where someone was like humiliating someone with like sexual talk or something like that. So then I realize now that as a man, I really think people get too upset about, why should I worry about this? Or I never did anything to a woman. I never did anything wrong to black people. I think that's a horrible attitude. In general, if you can't relate, look how angry I am. And they're not. Right. No one's targeting me. They don't know I'm Jewish.
Right.
So I just think this whole idea.
No, they don't know.
What's that?
No, they don't know.
No, but I mean, this whole idea of like, okay, enough already with the anger. That's always was a political bullshit thing to stop people from protesting.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, if you remember any time that someone said a really racist joke around you and you didn't get into a fight, you're part of the problem. In
Right.
some
Well,
ways, you know?
I would say when I was younger, I didn't stop people. I mean, I
No,
didn't.
of course. None of us did.
Right, but there's the thing too. Here's another thing, though. I always wondered. Sometimes you have to say something, and sometimes you're like, "What's the point of me getting into this with this person?" What do you generally feel? Like, I feel like, okay, I don't want to get into an argument with this person about the blacks or whatever.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think, I think at some point men have to.
Yeah, yeah.
At some point you have to show some consequence.
Oh, well, I'm not talking about overt racism because I've experienced that. I'm just talking about like a guy who's 70, older guy doing a joke about Italians or Polish people or black people, whatever it is.
I mean, that's not a fight I ever have.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it would be hard. I actually dated a woman. We never really, we never slept together. I don't know why I'm saying that. But I went and visited her a couple of times. She lived in St. Louis, and I literally couldn't take her racism. And, and I just...
And you took 2 trips to St. Louis and didn't get laid.
No. This is what people aren't going to believe this about me. It actually affected my attraction towards this woman. Her off-the-track racism. And I just remember...
It's off-putting. It's a turnoff. I'm with you.
She once said to me, which was almost chilling to me, she was talking about black people or poor people. And she said, well, my mother used to say, poor people have poor ways. Now, think about the level... where you're actually blaming people for their poverty.
Right.
That is just crazy to me.
Yeah.
That you go, you're prejudiced. You go, you see those poor people that.
So your mom, you call out.
What?
I assume you called out your mom on that.
No, my mom isn't that. What do you mean? I missed that joke.
Didn't you say that she's the one who said that? The poor ways thing?
No, this was the woman I was dating.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I messed it up then. The woman I was dating.
I don't listen always that well either.
Well, there's nothing interesting coming from my end sometimes. But I was dating her for a couple of months.
Okay.
And it was one of these things, like, the more we talked about it, it started to be like, well, I don't have anything against black people. But then the more she starts talking about it, you see she really does. And then when she said that to me about poor people have poor ways, I was like, if you're taught that as a kid, that's really screwed up.
Right.
I don't know what my lesson is there, but I always think in that one of the dreams of America is that we kind of don't buy, even though there is all these different fucked up things, we don't explicitly buy into class as a nation, caste systems. Right.
But clearly we do now.
No, we have the problem we have comes out in different ways. It's crony capitalism. It's fucked up now.
Right.
It's moving more and more towards whatever they call like an
oligarchy.
Yeah. No oligarchy.
Callan Holder says, has Andy had a good set in Nashville? I was talking to a friend in town about what a fan I am, and his response was, yeah, I saw him bomb at Zany's a couple of times. For the record, he loved the show.
Oh, well, he's right, though. I did bomb at Zany's. Every time I was there, and it's very nice that someone enjoyed it, because I wasn't having that good of a time. It's one of those clubs that's been here since the early 80s, and you hear about these classic clubs.
Right.
And sometimes you can go to them. I haven't found one of the classic clubs that I could do well at, including Rooster Teeth Feathers.
Right.
What was the club we were just talking? Oh, Rowley's. Zany's in Nashville. The one in North Carolina, Charlie Goodnight.
What about Zany's in Chicago?
I started out, I did okay there, and then it started to get, as my act developed, and I was going through a difficult period with it, probably.
Yeah.
That's how I interpret it now.
So
I was on my way.
1984 to 2010?
What do you mean?
The difficult period?
No. It is recent. No. But it is like 2003, 2004. I know you were making a joke, but the club got more hacky. That club did get. Did you been there? The Zany's?
I've been to Zany's Chicago.
Yeah,
but it was 1990.
It was. It's always been like a beloved club.
Yeah,
but
I did okay there. I mean, I did guest sets for a weekend. I think
that club. If I should have taken a picture of it, that club has in the kitchen area, something that just is a metaphor for all of comedy. It's like one of those cheese things that the nachos cheese sauce goes into, and it's just this vat. And because you can't use all real cheese without it congealing, it's just this thing that remains soupy from 1984 to the present day.
The stirrer, like as a stirrer.
Yeah, it just symbolized comedy. Get your nachos, get your jalapeno poppers.
What's another one of those? So basically, like, you know, when all the clubs you said, like Rooster Teeth Feathers, it's like all those clubs. The first thing I think of is Killer Bees headlining.
Well, I met the racist woman that I went out on a couple of dates with at the Comedy Barn in Jackson, Mississippi, opening for Killer Bees.
Oh my God, were you in the wrong place?
Did I ever tell you about working with
the Comedy Barn in Jackson, Mississippi, opening for Killer Bees? And the only thing that would have made that worse was Comedy Barn, Jackson, Mississippi, following Killer Bees.
That could never have happened. Oh my God, it's unbelievable how huge Andy is. Like in the South, he kills. Killer Bees can't follow him.
I don't understand how somebody saw a tape of you and booked you there.
It was more like a couple of these things I only tried after I was a judge on Last Comic Standing.
Oh, okay.
So there was like for a brief.
But not that. That had to have been, you wouldn't have been featuring.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong. That's a lie. And it's not a lie, it's just a misremembrance. No, that was 87 or 88.
Right.
I just went on any kind of, I didn't even think about where I was going.
Yeah. No, I didn't either,
and those were about Jackson, Mississippi was terrible. Knoxville, Tennessee was terrible for me in the late 80s.
Moving on. Tim Jackson. I don't have a question tonight, but here's how I know we're going to get through the Trump years. Ever since Test Show 49, my 14-year-old son will spontaneously break into Karen. Karen.
I love it.
Me too.
That makes me happy.
Me too.
Maybe we will solve the world. Maybe our show will prevent an apocalypse.
Maybe.
Or it could.
It'll be fun in a bunker.
It could hasten it too.
It could. Either way.
Why don't we open a club called the Maginot Line? It's an underground club called the Maginot Line, and you got Rommel. What a good Rommel's a good Dennis Miller word, right? Rommel.
Yeah, you know it's another really good Dennis Miller word. Rommel.
He really does annoyingly say "bata." Look for it on his specials.
I will.
Well, he doesn't make them anymore.
No. Randy Denton says, "Is Jared Kushner the worst Jew?" Hashtag Jerusalem, and then he tags the Washington Post article.
I was thinking about that today when I was watching Jared Kushner. That his voice, his voice sounds like he hates himself or something, or that the words hurt him leaving his mouth. I've never heard a voice like that, and the way his face was, I hated everything about that Jerusalem.
He is
trip.
the most pinched person.
Yeah, pinched.
Yes, yeah. Everything about him is pinched.
I could not watch 1 second of that today. I mean, and I really do kind of like. I'm not happy with Israel right now, and I love Jews.
I'm down with the Jews, but I'm not down with the behavior of Israel.
For a long time.
No.
And Netanyahu is probably smarter than Trump, but he's just as evil as Trump. I think he's smarter. Everyone's smarter than Trump. You don't think Netanyahu knows where different countries are? He knows. Trump couldn't tell you. I don't know where different countries are, but I wouldn't run for president.
Right.
I don't know why you told me that Trump would be highly qualified. And you kept telling me, give it a chance.
Hey, I was being sarcastic.
Oh!
Hey, can't you tell what a fucking joke is? I was being fucking sarcastic.
I wish people could see your head moving around.
I know, I was really committed.
Bopping around.
I was committed to the non-character character. Greg Kelly wants to know, is Jeremy Piven's stand-up act more likely to feature impressions or props?
Oh, man. I forgot that Showbiz sent me a text about this. This I haven't had the chance to explore, but he's going to where is he going? The Improv, or he's going to Second City? He's headlining a club, Jeremy Piven.
Yeah, in Chicago.
Jeremy Piven is the least funniest person on the planet. And I think he's been in some comedies. Even in Larry Sanders, he was good in Larry Sanders, but there's nothing funny about Piven. I guess he was funny in Larry Sanders. Right?
Entourage? You got nothing for no love?
He's terrible in Entourage.
I hate Entourage so much.
Yeah, but he was good in Larry Sanders, I have to say. But I don't know. Not my favorite guy there. I liked Wally. Wallace? Wally?
Wally Langham?
Yeah, he was. But I just can't believe this guy. And that is not a good sign for your career.
What?
If he's going from movies
to stand up?
Yeah. He's losing. He must have gotten in trouble with money.
Yeah.
Such a nice guy, though. I'm hoping it works out. Hey, is Jeremy Piven going to do a Jeremy Pivot tweet 3 days ago last week?
How'd it do?
I don't know. That's the thing that I'm worried about. I don't obsess as much about my tweets.
You don't follow up?
Not as much as I used to. Let's not get the awards out yet, because I know I will do something stupid in the next 48 hours somewhere.
Good. That's more fodder.
I want to. That's right. Sometimes I just do stupid things so I can have material for the podcast.
Dad jokes are people too. Asks, do you have any preview John Mulaney jokes for the state of the industry?
What does that mean?
It means, are there any John Mulaney jokes that you're working on?
No, I wouldn't. I can't go after him. Well, he's funny, so I wouldn't. It's not like a roast where you go after your friends.
Right.
You go after the people you really don't like. Is that what we do in the speech? No, what am I saying? No, sometimes it is good-natured, though.
You've done some funny people, I think, in your life.
I've made fun of funny people.
Sure.
What am I, on trial? You know what? If I was on trial, though, would you suggest that I take the stand? No.
No.
Please, Josh, I have to go down that stand and tell them there's no way.
I'm going to plead the fifth dimension.
I would love to write a complete act like that. I plead the fifth dimension. Up, and away. This guy knows what I'm talking about.
Velvety says, please, Andy Kindler, there are too many nicer things to do than hate watch/hate listen to a podcast combo of DM and AC.
I don't get it. What's happening? I'm lost.
Dennis Miller and AC? I don't know.
AC is...
Don't know. Listen to some hip-hop or those Randy Newman songs Josh mentioned. I've never understood the point of experiencing something you hate on purpose.
Well, he probably hates my act then. That's my whole act, is telling about things I don't enjoy and trying to find the funny reason to talk about them. But I understand the point. You can't live your whole life just hate watching. But I always think it'll be a big chunk of my life. The Schadenfreude type of thing.
Yeah.
I love watching I used to love watching bad comedy. But I don't like that anymore. You remember when you used to watch like stand and go, oh, I can't believe he's still doing airplane material. But then if you watch too much, that's like, yeah.
All right, I'm just watching bad stand-up now. I watched Mulaney's special on Netflix.
How was it?
It was fun. It was funny. It so breezes by.
Yeah. He's he middled for me. And I'm not saying it like an idiot, but he middled for me in Zanies, and he was killing. I could not follow him.
Yeah.
Just because I was and also his material was like, he's from Chicago. They loved him, and I couldn't. It was a bad time period for me.
Hard to follow a Chicago comic with confidence in Chicago.
I know, that's rough. That is rough.
Did you know John Midas?
I think I do that name.
He was a Chicago guy, and he was out here for years too, but he was one of those guys who was like,
yeah,
he had always had enough fans in the audience.
Well, I think I was thinking about the Boston comics. They had their crowd.
Yeah.
But it makes no sense. Stephen Wright's not a Boston comic, even though he's from Boston. He's a comic from there.
He's a Boston comic.
I know what I withdraw the question, Your Honor.
Mark Thompson wants to know, Andy and Josh, do you have a favorite concert you saw live? My favorite was undoubtedly Concert for George.
Was that after George passed away?
Yeah.
Oh man!
But it was. I've told you this. I'm sure.
No, I don't remember.
I got tickets through Olivia Harrison, George's widow. So this is the 1 year anniversary.
Did you interview her?
This is Royal Albert Hall in London, and No, I didn't interview her. This was just a crazy. My manager knew Don French and Lenny Henry.
Oh, okay.
And they were good friends with Olivia. So he basically, we really wanted to go to the show. He called Lenny asking, hey, do you have any connections? And his connection was fucking Olivia Harrison.
Oh my God.
So we got these tickets that were basically on stage, like literally like behind the stage front lip line. And I was looking over Gary Brooker's shoulder on the keyboard.
Who's that?
He was the keyboard player from Procol Harum.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, we had the equivalent seats of like where I was. Steve Winwood was behind me. Bill Wyman from the Stones was like a little farther down to my right. And across the stage in the equivalent seats were Olivia Harrison and Ravi Shankar. I mean, that's how good these
And you
seats
know
were.
Olivia Harrison?
No, I don't.
Oh, your manager did. But
No,
you,
even my manager didn't. It was like
so it
3
wasn't
steps
like you
away.
could thank her afterwards.
Right. So, but it was, you know, and I'm in there's a concert film and I'm in it a bunch of times just because I'm in shots.
That's so great.
But it was an amazing, you know, it was Paul and Ringo and Clapton and Jeff Lynne and Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers and Klaus Vorman and Billy Preston and Monty Python. It was just like this amazing fucking night.
Wow. Was Billy Preston great? I love Billy Preston.
Yeah, he was good.
So great. Oh, what are the acoustics like there?
Well, I was hearing a lot of it through stage monitors. So, I don't, you know, like I said, I honestly don't know because I was so.
It's not. It's a famous place.
It's
but
a famous concert hall.
Right, but it's not like. I mean, the Carnegie Hall is known for its sound. Doesn't necessarily.
No, I mean it's a weird room because it's super tall. There's like 8 tiers high.
Right.
And it's sort of oval shaped.
Is that where they rattle the jewelry line?
I think so. Yeah. So it was just like an amazing night. And then the night before we went
Did Allison go?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
The night before we went to a Jules Holland show.
I love him. From Squeeze?
Yeah, in a box with Don and Lenny at the Royal Albert Hall as well. I got to go backstage after that.
What was the name of his band then? Was it Squeeze?
No, he was doing this big. He hosted the show called Later in England.
I remember it.
With this great music.
It's a great, but I've watched that a lot because there's one where there's like a huge room where they go around.
They have like 5 bands. Yeah,
it's the greatest. Is that the same show?
Yeah. So it wasn't that show that he was doing, but his show was a lot of guest musicians and a lot of, you know.
So great.
It was really fun.
So that's 2 shows you saw.
Yeah. But that was really like one of those great, like, if I wasn't in show business, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
I love show business.
That's true. That's true. I said that when I got to fly in the space station. Fly in the space station.
Flying the space station with a CPAP.
So don't forget to get our new Thought Spiral sound machine.
Write us at Thought Spiral
Wait
Show.
a minute. I'm pressing the baby.
Go right, because I'm saying something
pressing
promotional,
the
so you're getting in my way.
That's right. You were actually saying something that would help us. Don't forget to write. What were you saying about the writing to people? That's the baby. That'll be the baby thing.
That's my baby.
Is that baby laughing? Write to us.
Write to us at thoughtspiralshow@gmail.com. Visit our poultry store at zazzle.com/thought_spiral. And watch my movie for free on Amazon. I Need You to Kill, streaming free on Amazon Prime. I'm very excited about that.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you. And come back next week.
First of all, I want to say, I really want to end one of these shows with just a serious, deadly boring good night and good luck. No, sorry about that. I was wrong.